हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you very much for your kind association. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srimad Bhagavatam. Let's get started. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. विद्या तपो वित्तव पूर्वय कुलैः सतां गुणैः षड्भिरसत्तमेतरैः स्मृतौ हतायां भृतमान दुर्दृशः स्तब्धा न पश्यन्ति हि धाम भूयसाम्. गुणाधिकान् मुदं लिप्सेत् अनुक्रोशं गुणाधमात् मैत्रीं समानादन्विच्छेन्न तापयेत् अभिभूयते. योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्. भक्तिं मुहुः प्रवहतां त्वयि मे प्रसङ्गो भूयादनन्तमहताममलाशयानाम् येनाञ्जसोल्बणमुरुव्यसनं भवाब्धिम् नेष्ये भवद्गुणकथामृतपानमत्तः. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. We are continuing our study of Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 3, entitled Talks Between Lord Shiva and Sri Sati Devi. Text 1. Shripad Maitreya Muni is narrating this history, this Krishna Katha to Mahatma Vidurji. Maitreya uvacha sada vidvishatorevam kalo vai ध्रियमाणयोः जामातु श्वशुरास्यापि सुमहानतिचक्रमे. Translations and purports by His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Shri Maitreya Muni continued, in this manner the tension between the father-in-law and son-in-law, Daksha and Lord Shiva. Who is the father-in-law? Daksha. Who is the son-in-law? Lord Shiva. And there is tension. Vidvishatoho. Vidvishatoho means there was tension between them. And it went on for kalah, for sada kalah. It went on continuously for a considerable long period of time. Jamatu. Jamat means Jamatu. Jamat means son-in-law. And Shwa Surasya means father-in-law. Shwa Surasya, father-in-law. It went on. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, the previous chapter has already explained that Mahatma Vidurji questioned the great sage Sri Maitreya Muni as to the cause of the misunderstanding between Lord Shiva and Prajapati Daksha. Another question is why the strife, means this tension between Daksha and his son-in-law, Lord Shiva, caused Sati to destroy her body. Because remember, when the Vanshavali was being narrated, Sri Maitreya Muni said that from the youngest daughter, Sati, who was married to the youngest daughter of Prajapati Daksha, who was married to Lord Shiva, no progeny came. Hey? Then Vidurji says, why no progeny came? I want to know that story. So then this is being explained. Why there was no progeny from Shri Sati Devi? Because before she could give birth to any children, she gave up her body. So the question was, why did she give up her body? Why? So now all that will be clarified. So now here it is said that generally when any sacrifice, yajna, is performed, although each and every sacrifice is intended to pacify the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, because Vishnu's name is Yajna. Yajnartham karmano, anyatra karma bandhana. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that karma has to be performed for as a yajna, for the yajna purush, that is Vishnu. All the demigods, especially there are two demigods who are very important, and there are few others, but the two most important are Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. And other principal demigods like Indra and Chandra are invited. Generally, in these yajnas, they are also invited. Because Krishna doesn't go anywhere alone. His devotees go with him. It is said that unless all the demigods are present, no sacrifice is complete. But in the tension between Daksha and Lord Shiva, father-in-law and son-in-law, another yajna performance began, to which Lord Shiva was not invited. Daksha was the chief progenitor, Prajapati, employed by Lord Brahma, and he was a son of Lord Brahma, so he had a very high position, and he was also very proud and arrogant. That was the position of Daksha. He started another yajna now, and in this yajna he did not invite Lord Shiva. 2. Text 2. Yadabhishikto dakshastu brahmana parameshthina prajapatinam sarvesham adhipatye smayo bhavat. When Lord Brahma appointed Daksha, the chief of all the Prajapatis, the progenitors of population, Daksha became very much puffed up. When we have power and position, it is very easy to become proud. Very easy to allow arrogance, Brahma Buddhi, Indra Buddhi to go to the head. He became puffed up. Purport. Srila Prabhupada writes, although Daksha was envious and was inimical towards Lord Shiva, he was still appointed the chief of Prajapatis. Prajapatinam sarvesham adhipatye. He was the adhipati of all the Prajapatis. Prajapatis are leaders in their own right. And he was the leader of all Prajapatis. Even though he was inimical towards Lord Shiva, he was still made by Brahmana Parameshthina, by Lord Brahma himself. Brahma is called Parameshthi. Lord Brahma, Brahmana Parameshthina, By Lord Brahma, he was appointed as the chief of all the Prajapatis. That was the cause of his excessive pride. Daksha became proud because of his position, power. Srila Prabhupada continues in the purport, when a man becomes too proud of his material possessions, he can perform any disastrous act, and therefore Daksha acted out of false prestige. That is described in this chapter. Can you give an example relevant to the current month? How wealth and power can make us perform, Prabhupada says, disastrous act. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Mukta Sangha, Prabhu will answer this difficult question for everyone. Haribol.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Very
Govardhana Leela, Indra.
Govardhan Lila Indra, very nice. We just celebrated Govardhan Puja. He became so proud. Every year I am getting sacrificial offerings. Why this year they have not given? Kill them, destroy them. Yes, Satyarupama Mataji. Another example. Same answer. Vanit Prabhu has a different answer.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, not sure whether right answer or not. Today morning in Kartik class of Maharaj, they mentioned that the next day of Govardhan, like when Vasudev Maharaj, Nanda Baba, went for the bath, and Varuna's associate, they take him with them and put in the jail.
Yes, that is also an example of getting proud and ill-treating a great person, a person who is greater than us. And Rasraj Gopal Prabhu, Haribol.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. The two sons of Kuver, Nalakuver.
Yes, that is what I was looking for. Nalakuver Manigriv, this month, Damodar month.
Yeah.
They became very proud of their connection with Lord Shiva. So both examples are there. King Indra, as Mukta Sangha Prabhu said, and Nalakuver Manigriv, as Rasraj Gopal Prabhu said. Both became puffed up because of power and position. Now, can you give me an example of one great devotee who made a mistake because of power and prestige and arrogance and then prayed that next incarnation I don't want any position, I don't want any management role? Yes, Keshav Madhav Prabhu.
Brahma Prabhuji.
Jaya 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 Thakur Haridas Nara Mahima Jai Ho Karila Prakash.
I was actually thinking of Bilvamangal Thakur. The moment you asked this question, I was thinking of Bilvamangal Thakur, but then you also reiterated in the question itself that in the next birth. So I stopped.
Next avatar. Shama Kishore Mataji, you remember? Haribol.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I was thinking of Brahma and Haridas.
Jai. Yeah, very nice example that he made mistake and then क्या कमी रह गई देखो और सुधार करो. असफलता एक चुनौती है, इसे स्वीकार करो. क्या कमी रह गई देखो और सुधार करो. Yes, he made it good, Lord Brahma. He made good his mistake. Bharat Maharaj made good his mistake as Jada Bharat. That is bhakti. So he became very puffed up. Text 3. इष्ट्वा स वाजपेयेन ब्रह्मिष्ठानभिभूय च बृहस्पति सवं नाम समारेभे क्रतुत्तमम्. Daksha began a sacrifice called Vajapeya. Vajapeya. And he became excessively confident of his support by Lord Brahma. वो मेरे पिताजी है. He was taking it for granted that Lord Brahma will support. He then performed another great sacrifice called Brihaspatsava, one after the other. When there is some tension, when there is some inimical, hard feelings with someone great, the human tendency is to do activities which will portray us as someone successful. I don't need you. I broke off with you, but still I am doing fine. Daksha Prajapati broke off with his own son-in-law, Lord Shiva, who is very powerful, Mahadev. But he wants to show that the show will go on. I will go on. I am still successful. I am still a success story. I am not dependent on you. It is business as usual for me. So that yajna failed because he left. Lord Shiva left, then he left, and everything. The yajna continues, but Daksha and Lord Shiva both had left. But then Daksha, he performed one yajna called Vajapeya. He performed another yajna called Brihaspati Savam to show Lord Shiva and to show everyone that I am still competent, I am still carrying on. This is competitive mentality born out of envy. Actually, after having performed such a big Vaishnava Aparat to Lord Shiva, Daksha Prajapati should not have been able to sleep at night. Should not be sleeping peacefully. He's sleeping peacefully, he's performing yajnas peacefully. And that is a very sorry state of consciousness when we don't feel guilty. When we don't feel guilty. So he performed two yajnas, Vajapeya and Brihaspati. Purport. In the Vedas, it is prescribed that before performing a Brihaspati Sava sacrifice, one should perform the sacrifice named Vajapeya. While performing these sacrifices, however, Daksha neglected great devotees like Lord Shiva. We make one friend, one supporter, one or two supporters, and then we think we can antagonize others. Daksha had his father with him on his side, Lord Brahma, the greatest, the grandfather of the universe. He thought, Baki sab tuchha hai. He didn't care about Lord Shiva. According to Vedic sacrifices, the demigods are eligible to participate in yajnas and share the oblations, but Daksha wanted to avoid them. All sacrifices are intended to pacify Lord Vishnu. Ahami sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhurevacha. Clearly Krishna says, I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices. But Daksha, being puffed up with his power, wanted to deprive Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva of participation in the sacrifice, understanding that if one satisfies Vishnu, it is not necessary to satisfy his followers. But that is not the process, Prabhupada is saying. We have to respect the demigods also. Why we should disrespect them? In Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Shri Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami says that before starting any puja, we should pray to Lord Ganesh. It's there. You go to the Sapta Devalaya, outside the temples in Vrindavan, there is the Murti of Lord Ganesh. So we don't have to disrespect demigods. We don't become great by disrespecting demigods. Yes, we speak against exclusive worship of demigods because that destroys our ananyata. And Lord Krishna demands ananyata. Kamaista iste ritadhyana prapadyante anya devata. Ananyas chintayanto mam. Sarvadharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam. Harer nam eva kevalam. So Shastra and Shri Krishna demand exclusive devotion. But exclusive devotion to Krishna does not mean that we insult and belittle other demigods. Amanina manadena. We respect everyone. What to speak of demigods who are confidential servants of the Lord? Vishnu wants his followers to be satisfied first. Lord Krishna says, Mad Bhakta Puja Bhyadika. The worship of my devotees is better than worship of me. Similarly, in the Shiva Puran, it is stated that the best mode of worship is to offer oblations to Lord Vishnu. But better than that is to offer worship to the devotees of Krishna. Thus, Daksha's determination to neglect Lord Shiva in the sacrifices was not fitting. It was wrong. Who can tell me the shlok? That best worship is of Vishnu. Better than Vishnu is the devotees of Vishnu. Yes, Satyarupa Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी आराधनानां सर्वेषां विष्णोराराधनं परं तस्मात् परतरं देवी तदीयानां समर्चनम्.
Very nice. Very good. Very nice. Very beautiful verse. Srila Prabhupada used to quote this verse. Aradhananam sarvesham. Among all the different types of aradhana and worship, Vishnor aradhanam param. The best aradhana is of Lord Vishnu. There is worship of so many Devis, Devatas. Best is Lord Vishnu. And Lord Shiva is telling this to his wife, Shri Parvati. Tasmat parataram Devi. But better than the worship of Lord Vishnu, O Devi. Actually, what this conversation starts when Shri Parvati Devi asks Lord Shiva, which is the best worship? Tell me, which is the best worship? So, because Mother Parvati is always worshipping Lord Shiva. She's always worshipping Lord Shiva and she's asking Lord Shiva, which is the best worship? And Lord Shiva says, Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnu Aradhana. Right? Then Mother Parvati goes like this. What? What am I doing then? Worshipping you. Wait, hold on, Devi. Better than worship of Lord Vishnu. Tasmat Parataram Devi Tadiyanam. Those who belong to Lord Vishnu. Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. Tadiyanam Sam Archanam. Samyak Rupena Archanam. Complete worship of those who are devoted. Those who belong to Lord Vishnu, the Vaishnavas. Vaishnava Seva is better than Vishnu Seva. That is the meaning of this verse. Text 4. So basically the point is Daksha neglecting Lord Shiva and performing Vajapeya and Brihaspati Sava Yajnas has no meaning because he was harboring inimical feelings towards Lord Shiva, hatred towards Lord Shiva, envy towards Lord Shiva. Therefore, Prajapati Daksha's yajnas are a form of upasana, aradhana in Srimad Bhagavatam, which are considered to be in the mode of ignorance. This is tamasic puja. Because you are having hatred towards a Vaishnava, what puja you will do? What yajna you will do? All yajnas are meant to satisfy Lord Vishnu, who is Yajnesh. And you hate his dear devotee. You think Lord Vishnu is going to be happy? Text 4. Tasmin brahmarshaya sarve devarshi pitrudevataha asan krita swastyanas tatpatnyaschasa bhartrikaha. While the sacrifice was being performed, many brahmarshis, great sages, ancestral demigods, and other demigods, their wives, all very nicely decorated with ornaments. Krita Swasti Ayana, nicely decorated ornaments. So different devatas, devata, and tat patneha, and their wives, they attended the yajna and they came from different parts of the universe. Wives came with the husband, Bhartraka. Bhartraka means with their Bhartraka means with their husbands. So Brahmarshis came, Devarshis came, the ancestors came, Devatas came, Devis came, all Krita Swasti Ayana, all nicely decorated. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, in any auspicious ceremony such as marriage ceremony, sacrificial ceremony, or puja ceremony, it is auspicious for married women to decorate themselves very nicely with ornaments, fine clothing, and cosmetics. Once some devotees were criticizing some Matajis for dressing up very nicely in the temple for Govardhan Puja or Janmashtami. या इतना सज धज के आने की क्या आवश्यकता है? They were asking. But actually, our Shastra says, and Srimad Ayanda Prabhu also says, that in the mood of the Vraj Gopis, we should dress up nicely for the festivals. Because you will remember in Shri Govardhan Dharan Leela, Mukta Sangha Prabhu, Shri Govinda lifts Govardhan. You remember the series we did? In that we discussed how Shri Krishna, when he convinces Shri Nanda Baba and the elders to give up Indra Puja, instead perform Govardhan Puja, he tells them, all of you wear your finest clothes, best jewelry, decorate yourself and then come. We will do parikrama and we'll worship Govardhan. So that is the mood of the Brajvasis. We dress up for the sake, the Matajis, not Prabhujis. Matajis dress up for pleasing Krishna. In the mood of the Braj Gopis, they dress up. Prabhupada clearly says, Matajis. Huh? It is auspicious for married women to decorate themselves very nicely with ornaments, fine clothing, and cosmetics. These are auspicious signs, Prabhupada says. Hari Bol! Matajis, you did not hear this. Prabhujis, I did not say this. Prabhupada says, ornaments, hi, fine clothing, and cosmetics. These are auspicious signs. And when they can do this? For marriage ceremonies, for sacrificial ceremonies, means yajna, Narsimha yajna, Gita Jayanti yajna, and puja ceremony. Hari Bol. Janmashtami, Nandotsav, Gaur Purnima, Radhashtami. Let's read this purport, it's very interesting. Many heavenly women assembled with their husbands, the Devarshis, demigods, Rajarshis, and in that great sacrifice named Brihaspati Sava. It is specifically mentioned in this verse that they approached with their husbands, Sa Bhartrika. For when a woman is decorated nicely, her husband becomes more cheerful. So, in case some Mataji decide to follow this purport, then the Prabhu should be cheerful. Prabhupada is saying, not grumpy, you have to be cheerful. Or when a woman is decorated nicely, her husband becomes very cheerful. The nice decorations, ornaments, and dresses of the wives of the demigods and sages, and the cheerfulness of the demigods. I don't think demigods have any currency or any salary, income bracket. They don't have to pay any taxes. The cheerfulness of the demigods and sages themselves were all auspicious signs for the ceremony. But on a serious note, yeah, we should not go haggardly dressed for a puja. We should be nicely dressed for puja. It's auspicious. And it creates inauspiciousness when we are haggardly dressed, wear dirty clothes, not showered, not bathed properly. So we should take care of the hygiene. In the Vaishnava etiquette manual of Shri Radha Gopinath Mandir, the definition of opulent dressing is given. How many of you know it? Opulent dressing. Keshavada Prabhu, you are opulently dressed. What is the meaning of that? Yes, Radha Gopinath Prabhu. You have to unmute Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Dhanyavad Pranam. It's mentioned that it should be clean, it should be without any creases, and it should be clean, washed clean.
Yes, I think without any creases was your tika, your additional commentary. As far as I remember, the Vaishnava etiquette manual says it should be clean, means washed, freshly washed, and it should be simple.
Well dressed mentioned.
Simple. I remember simple. Yeah, but without any crease, that sounds like His Grace Vishwarup Prabhu. Very nice. Okay. So yeah, that is simple. Simple clothes means kurta, dhoti, sari, or gopi dress, and it should be washed. That's all. It should be clean. It should not be dirty. And we also accept the commentary of Shripad Radha Gopinath Prabhu that there should be no crease. Hari Bol. Otherwise, it will decrease the happiness of Krishna. 5 to 7. Tad upashrutya nabhasi khecharanam prajalpatam sati dakshayani devi pitrayajna mahotsavam vrajanti hi sarvato digbhya upadeva varastriyah vimana yanaah saprishta निष्काकण्ठिः सुवाससः दृष्ट्वा स्वनिलयाभ्यासे लोकाक्षीर्मृष्टकुण्डलाः पतिं भूतपतिं देवम् औत्सुक्यात् abhyabhashata. Please listen carefully, my dear friends. Shripad Maitreya Muni is describing to Mahatma Vidur the chaste lady Shri Sati Devi, the daughter of Daksha. She is called Dakshayani Devi Sati. She was Dakshayani, the daughter of Daksha. When she heard the heavenly denizens flying in the sky, Tad Upashrutya Nabhasi, in the sky, they were going, and Upashrutya means she heard. Shri Dakshayani Sati Devi heard that all these denizens were conversing with each other about the great sacrifice being performed by her father Daksha. Pitra means her father. Pitra Yajna Mahotsavam. Father was performing a yajna and it had become a great festival where all these great personalities were going, all the rulers, movers, and shakers and leaders of the universe. When Shri Sati Devi saw that from all directions, the beautiful wives of the heavenly denizens, their eyes very beautifully glittering, were near her residence and were going to the sacrifice, dressed in fine clothing and ornamented with earrings and necklaces with lockets, Shri Sati Devi approached her husband, Lord Shiva. Who is the Bhutapatin. He is the Bhutapati. He is the master of the ghosts, master of all people. Two meanings. Bhutapati we saw. Master of the ghosts and master of the all people. Because everybody can be called Bhuta. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma or Mamay Amsha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatan. Bhutanath, Bhutapati, Lord Shiva. She went in great anxiety to him. Autsukyat. With great anxiety, with great excitement, she went to her husband. And Abhyabhashata, she spoke to her husband as follows. Because she saw Drishtva Swa Nilaya Abhyashe. She saw all these people going to her father's house and they were going from near her residence. So she saw all this. Oh, they are going, even I want to go. Even I want to go. Purport. Srila Prabhupada says it appears that the residence of Lord Shiva was not on this earth planet, but somewhere in outer space. Prabhupada says. That's why she saw all these heavenly people going. Sati described here as Dakshayani because she is daughter of Daksha. Mention of Upadeva Vara refers to inferior demigods like the Gandharvas, Kinnaras, Uragas, who are not exactly demigods, but they are between demigods and human beings. They are more advanced than human beings, Gandharvas, Kinnaras. They were also coming in airplanes. And again, Swa Nilaya Bhyashe indicates that they were passing right near her residential quarters. And of course, the dresses were very beautiful, ornaments were attractive, glittering, and each woman was accompanied by their respective husbands. Thus, they looked so beautiful that Shri Sati Devi, Dakshayani, was impelled to dress similarly and go to the sacrifice with her husband. That is a natural inclination of a woman. So, men and women are made differently. But one thing is common. Jivera Swarup hai, Krishna Nityadas. Both have Bhakti Adhikar. Text 8. Satyuvacha means Sati Uvacha. Prajapatiste Shvashurasya Sampratam Niryapito Yajna Mahotsava Kila Vayam cha tatra bhisaramavamate yad arthitami vibudha vrajantihi. Shri Sati Devi said, my dear Lord Shiva, your father-in-law, Shva Shurasya, your father-in-law is now executing a great sacrifice. Yajna Mahautsav, a great sacrifice. And all the demigods, having been invited by him are going there. If you desire, we also may go. Yadi arthita. If you desire, then we should also go. Hari Bol. Purport. Shri Sati knew of the tension between her father and her husband, but still she expressed to her husband, Lord Shiva, that since such sacrifices were going on at her father's house and so many demigods were going, she also desired to go. But she could not express her willingness directly, and so she told her husband that if he desired to go, then she could also accompany him. In other words, she submitted her desire very politely to her husband. This is the Sabhyata. This is the way to express, very politely. That is the way to converse with a superior personality. Tasmin bhaginyo mama bhartrbhisvakair dhruvam gamishyanti surididrikshavaha aham cha tasmin bhavatabhikamaye saho panitam paribarham arhitum. Shri Sachidev is further speaking to Lord Shiva. I think that all my sisters must have gone to this great sacrificial ceremony with their Brahmarshi husbands just to see their relatives. Now remember, Daksha had many daughters. Youngest was Sati, who was given to Lord Shiva in marriage. Other sisters were given. Other daughters of Daksha were given to so many sages, other Prajapatis. They will go with their husbands. I also desire to decorate myself with the ornaments. Aham cha tasmin bhavata abhikamaye. Abhikamaye. It is also my desire that bhavata, with you, I want to go. Aham cha tasmin. I want to go. Tasmin. I want to go in that assembly. And how I want to go? Saha upanitam paribarham arhitum. I want to go decorating myself paribarham with ornaments. I want to decorate myself with ornaments. Which ones? Given to me by my father. And I want to go there with you, Bhavata, and participate in that assembly. Why? Suhrit Didrikshava. I want to see the relatives. I want to see the relatives. Purport. It is a woman's nature to want to decorate herself with ornaments and nice dresses and accompany her husband to social functions, meet friends and relatives, and enjoy life in that way. This propensity is not unusual for women. It is a basic principle of enjoyment. Therefore, in Sanskrit, the word for the woman is stri. Stri means one who expands the field of material enjoyment. So this tendency is there. We should try to dovetail this tendency in Krishna's service by dressing up for Govardhan Puja for Krishna, dressing up on Janmashtami, not for kitty parties. Lord Shiva, however, is different from Sati. Srila Prabhupada writes further down in the purport. Therefore, his name is Shiva, all auspicious. Lord Shiva is not at all attracted by material enjoyment. Although his wife Sati was the daughter of a very great leader, Daksha, and was given to him by the request of Brahma, Lord Shiva was reluctant. But Sati, as a woman, the daughter of a king, wanted enjoyment. She wanted to go to her father's house, just like others. Very bol. Others have boyfriend, girlfriend. I also want to have boyfriend, girlfriend. Our kids are under tremendous peer pressure nowadays, especially when they come to middle school, high school. Lot of peer pressure. And it is not easy to deal with peer pressure. They just want to fit in. And the strength to say no to temptations comes from a higher taste. Why Lord Shiva doesn't want to dress up like others? Why Lord Shiva doesn't want to go for this yajna, for socializing? Because Munindra Vrinda Vandite Triloka Shoka Harini Prasanna Vaktra Pankaje Nikunja Bhuvilasini Vrajendra Bhanu Nandini Vrajendra Sunu Sangate Kada Karishyasi Hamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam. He has a higher taste. Lord Shiva is fixed in bhakti. Therefore, he is not attracted to these things. So, unless we are focused on bhakti, we will not be able to say no to temptations. Param drishtva nivartate. Only by higher taste we can give up lower taste. Very important lesson. Sati, Shiva. Shri Sati Devi and Bhagwan Shivji. Shivji is not attracted at all by Daksha's yajna. And Sati is so attracted that she wants to go even though she knows her husband will not be welcome there. This is the nature of peer pressure. This is the nature of material desires. They can really ruin our reputation. What happened? Sati is sitting and she saw all these demigods, their wives, all these rishis, brahmarshis, their wives going nicely dressed. By seeing, she got attracted. Similarly, Renuka, by seeing the Gandharva, temporarily got distracted. Sati, by seeing, got attracted. Ajamil, by seeing, got attracted. Saubari Muni, by seeing, got attracted. There's the power of seeing. Hare Krishna. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsam. It all begins with seeing. Seeing means dhyan. You're paying attention to that. You're giving attention to something, someone. That becomes the cause of attachment. Dhyayato Vishay. Vishay means any Vishay, any object of sense gratification. It could be a party. It could be clothes. It could be perfume. It could be jewelry. It could be company. It could be activity. It could be occasion. If we look at it, then we develop what Maithili taught me is called FOMO, fear of missing out. We develop FOMO, fear of missing out. Arey yaar, if I don't go, FOMO. I'll miss out. I don't want to miss out. I want to experience also. Everybody's experiencing. I want to experience also. And that FOMO comes from watching, focusing, giving our attention to. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa. Sangasteshu Pajarate. Sangha means attachment develops to that activity, to that person, to that association. Attachment, Sangha, attachment develops. By giving attention, attachment develops. Dhyayato Vishaya Pumsam Sangasteshu Upajayate. Upajayate means it is born. Attachment is born. Sangat Sanjayate Kam. And when there is attachment, then you develop a desire to enjoy, experience. Kam. काम वासना का जन्म होता है आसक्ति के कारण. पहले विषय पर ध्यान, ध्यान से आसक्ति, आसक्ति से काम वासना. ध्यायतो विषयान पुंसाम संगास्तेषु उपजायते संगात संजायते काम. काम की पूर्ति हो गई तो लोभ, काम की पूर्ति नहीं हुई तो क्रोध. कामात क्रोधो भी जायते. काम से क्रोध आता है. When the desire is fulfilled, you want more. ये दिल मांगे more. Greed. If the material desire is not fulfilled, anger. How dare you frustrate my plans? I want it. Krodhat bhavati sammohan. And when anger comes, anger is one letter short of danger. You add a D to anger, it becomes danger. Krodhat bhavati sammohan. And sammohan, you become completely confused, delirious, mad, bewildered. That's what anger does. Therefore, they say don't send a text message when you're angry. Don't make a phone call when you're angry. Don't make a decision when you're angry. When I was in my residency, we used to have, we used to see certain incarcerated patients also. Patients who committed a crime and they are incarcerated, they are in jail, they are inmates. And also, now in this job also, I see inmates sometimes. When we get the history, sometimes I am just to understand the patient overall, it's helpful to ask what landed them in the current situation. And it's always something that's got to do with anger. The thing that landed them in jail many a times, is anger. There was some instigating event, and then it sparked their anger. Under the influence of anger, in the moment, they did something which lands them in jail, and then they regret. Sometimes the false ego doesn't allow you to admit that you are regretful. And some patients say that, but I had to do it, I had no choice, it was too much. And then if I feel comfortable with the patient, I ask them, if you were to revisit that day, if you could rewind and go back to that time, would you act the same? And almost always they say no. It was not worth it. It was not worth it. One person told me that he actually ruined his entire family because of his act of that he did out of anger. Because he said, I hired lawyers and they made me pay around $300,000 in attorney fees. It wiped out my meager savings. My father and my grandfather used their savings to pay for my attorney fees so that I don't end up in jail. And they coughed up $300,000. My grandfather's entire remaining 401k was gone. See, these are perhaps lower middle class people. Everything was gone. And he still lost. The jury ruled against him. And he still ended up in jail. 22-year-old boy. He had not even finished his undergrad. Was at a party over a girl, got angry with a boy and stabbed him. And initially, and then in jail, he got somehow whatever happened, and he got HIV in jail and got AIDS in jail, and that's how he ended up under my care in the hospital, very sick. So I asked him, how did you get HIV? And he told me that in the jail, people did certain things to him. He thinks that's why he got it. And I said, how did you end up in jail? And he's a UGA student. Hare Krishna. UGA student. So it felt very close to my heart because Gopal also goes to UGA. I said, how did you end up in jail from UGA? And he told me, UGA is a party city, party town, it's the college town. And every Friday there is party. Good, our kids come every Friday for Bhagavad Gita class from Athens. Hare Krishna. So it happened at a party. It was just some envy over a girl, two boys wanting the same girl, got into a fist fight. He said he knocked me out, knocked me down. I got angry. I was not strong enough. So I pulled a pocket knife and I stabbed him. That's aggravated assault. Attempted murder. Sorry, not aggravated assault, attempted murder. So he ended up in jail. In jail, he got, I don't want to use that word, but there's some bad people in jail who did some things to him, and he got HIV, didn't get treatment, developed AIDS over the years, and then ended up in the hospital. So initially, he was justifying, but then I said, if you could go back that day on the Friday party night, would you have done this? He said, no way. It was not worth it. It was not worth it. For that girl who didn't even care for me, I ended up in jail. The point I'm trying to make is anger is really Bhagavad Gita, it is so accurate. Every word Lord Krishna says in Sri Bhagavad Gita, it is so accurate. It was accurate, it is accurate, and for all time to come, it will remain accurate. These are Bhagwan's words. They are Amog. Amog Vani. And all these stories are there to teach us. Today, I was listening to the second lecture that His Holiness Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj is giving at Sri Govardhan and Sri Dham Vrindavan. And in the second lecture, Maharaj was saying, or was it the fourth lecture? I heard both today. I'm not sure which one it was. But in one of those two lectures, Maharaj was saying that Shri Krishna teaches us some of the most important lessons through the glories of his dear devotees. And Shri Krishna sometimes teaches us incredibly important lessons through the mistakes of his dear devotees. Like Shri Sati Devi is going to make a biggest mistake of her life in this chapter. And Shri Krishna uses his dear devotees like Shri Sati Devi to teach us you don't make that mistake. Don't get tempted and go to do things that will take you away from your Gurudev. So yeah, Shri Krishna teaches us important lessons through the glories of our great devotees, acharyas, who do things the right way. But sometimes Shri Krishna teaches us important lessons through mistakes of the great acharyas. Shri Bhishma Dev made a mistake to fight against Pandavas, against Krishna. We learn. So like that. Now it's very painful to read how Sati is going to get tempted. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa. Then she gets attached. Text 10. Tatra swasrirmenano bhratrar samitta matra swashri klinnadhiyam cha mataram drakshe chirotkanthamana maharshibhir unniyamanam chamridadvaradhvajam. My sisters, my mother's sisters, Swasri means sisters, Bhratra Samhita means along their husbands, Bhratra, Matra Swasri, sisters of my mother, Maushi, they are going, and other affectionate relatives also. Klinnadhyam, other loving relatives, they must be assembled there in that sacrifice. So if I go, I shall be able to see them. She wants to see them. Drakshye, I will be able to see them. And I shall be able to see the flapping flags and the performance of the sacrifice by the great sages, Maharishi Bhi. For these reasons, my dear husband, Mrida, O Lord Shiva, I am very much anxious to go. Chira utkantha manaha. I have got so much utkantha, so much eagerness to go. I want to see the sacrifice. I want to see the decoration, the flags, the relatives. I'll see my mother. I'll see my sisters. I'll see my mother's sisters. I want to go. All typical womanly stuff. Sati was very anxious to go to her father's house, particularly because on that occasion, her sisters and their husbands and her mother's sisters would be there. As is natural for a woman, she wanted to dress equally to the other sisters and also be accompanied by her husband. Because showing off one's husband is also an opulence. So, a woman likes to go with her husband, nicely dressed, to show a happy family, happy face. It's just a material thing, but because we are materially conditioned, it is natural. But we should curtail these desires. We should let go. Let people think what they think. We are not here to show them. We will get people's वाह वाह, हैप्पी फैमिली है, अच्छे सेटल हो गए, पर क्या होगा उनके कहने से? That is not Paramartha. That is not what is going to take us to Golok Vrindavan. It is not one of the 6 things favorable for bhakti mentioned by Srila Rupa Goswami. Utsahat nischayat dhairyat. We should not have utsaha for parties. Here we see utsaha for parties, utkantha for parties. We want utsaha for Hari Bhajan. Shantir avyartha kalatvam viraktir manashunyata ashabaddham samutkantha namagane sadaruchi. That's what we want. And here it says chirutkantha mana mataram dakshe. To see mother, to see mother sisters, to see sisters. Swastra. So that is not desirable for a spiritualist. And Prabhupada says she did not want to go alone. She wanted to go with her husband. Now let's see what happens. Tvayetadascharyamayatmamayaya vinirmitam bhati gunatrayatmakam tathapaham yoshidatatvavicchate dina didrikshe bhavame bhavakshitim. Sati is saying, Shri Sati Devi is saying, this manifested cosmos is a wonderful creation of the interaction of the 3 modes of material nature, or the external energy of the Lord, Shri Krishna. This truth is fully known to you. Yet I am but a poor woman. As you know, I am not conversant with the truth. Atatvavit. Deena. I am deen, heen. Atatvavit. You are Atma Tattvavit, Lord Shiva. You are Atma Tattvavit. You are self-realized. But I am Tattvavit. I am not conversant with the truth. Therefore, I wish to see my birthplace once more. O Bhava, O my dear husband, O Lord Shiva, I am Dina, I am very poor. I am not very advanced spiritually. Therefore, Didrikshe, Bhava Kshitim. I want to see that Kshitim, that place, Bhava, where I was born. I want to see my birthplace. I want to go to my hometown. Matrubhumi. Birthplace. Amsa Gao. But the real purpose of life is Zau Devachi Agawa. Back to Godhead. I want to say something based on human psychology. Please listen very carefully. Analyze the statement of Shri Sati Devi in this verse before we end. Shri Sati Devi is telling Lord Shiva, addressing him as Aja, O unborn Lord Shiva. All this in this material world is Gunatraya Atmakam. It is born by the interaction of the 3 modes of material nature. And Atma Mayaya, it is done by the external energy of the Lord, Vinirmitam. All this is Nirmitam. This is created, this whole world, by the Atma Maya, by the Maya Shakti of Krishna. I know सब कुछ माया है, सब मोह माया है, पर मैं क्या करूं? मैं गृहीणाम दीन चेतसाम. I am very fallen. I am a tattvavit. I don't know spiritual truth. Therefore, didrikshe. I want to see my father's sacrifice. Now, please, my dear friends, give me 1 minute of your undivided attention. This is very important human psychology that we need to understand and uproot it today. Hare Krishna. Shri Sati Devi is teaching us very mercifully, teaching us that we should never speak like this. Now, I'll give you a scenario. Keshav Madhav Prabhu and me are talking. And I say, प्रभु जी एक मूवी आई है, बढ़िया मूवी है प्रभु जी, चलो ना, दोनों जाएंगे. आता क्या खंडाला. क्या करूं आके मैं खंडा. पॉपकॉर्न खाएंगे, मूवी देखेंगे और क्या. सो केशव माधव रूल से, हे आदि, आता क्या बरसाना. क्या करूं आके मैं बरसाना. अरे नाचेंगे, गाएंगे, कीर्तन करेंगे, 64 करेंगे और क्या. Now see the psychology. I am saying that chal movie. And Keshavada Prabhu is saying, nahi, Prabhuji, that is breaking regulative principles. It is not favorable for bhakti. Why we should go for movie? And I will say, Prabhuji, I am fallen. क्या करूँ बोला प्रभु, आप तो प्योर डिवोटी है, हम प्योर डिवोटी नहीं है प्रभु, चलो ना चलो ऐसा. So psychology is that we say I am a tattvavit. We say I am grihinam dina chetasam. I am a materialistic person, Prabhu. I am not a pure devotee yet, Prabhu. We say this so that our well-wishing friend cannot say anything. When you say I am fallen, वो क्या बोलेगा? आप खुद कह रहे हो कि मैं fallen हूं, मुझे fallen रहने दो. I am not a pure devotee. मुझे pure devotee अभी मेरे लिए बनना संभव नहीं है. मुझे करने दो. Basically, we are saying I am fallen to get a license to do what we are not supposed to do. Instead of सामने का पर्सन saying कि प्रभु ये तो फॉलन व्यक्ति की बातें कर रहे हैं आप, हम ही कह देते हैं प्रिएम्प्टिवली कि प्रभु आई नो आई एम फॉलन. मतलब अभी चुप, अभी कुछ मत बोलो. That is the psychology behind saying I am a tattvavit. I am grihinam dina chetasam. You understand? We should never speak like this. Let the friend say कि प्रभु you are talking like fallen person. Anarya. How Lord Krishna chastises Arjun. Arjun doesn't say Krishna देखो बाबा. I am not a pure devotee. I am not a nitya siddha. ज्ञान की बातें मत करो. Then Krishna would not have been able to say anything. चुप. Arjun doesn't say like that. Arjun says, tell me what is Shreya for me. Karpanya dosho pahata swabhava प्रच्छामि त्वाम धर्म समूढ़ चेता. यन श्रेय निश्चितम ब्रूहित तन्मे. You tell me निश्चित, definitely what is Shreya, what is उत्तम for me, what is the ideal for me, what is correct approach for me. You tell me. शिष्यस्तेहम साधि माम. You instruct me. But when you say that I am a tattva, मुझे बोलो मत. Don't say anything to me. I am a fool. I am deenahin. I am fallen. Don't say anything to me. That is the ashaya behind saying I am fallen. So we should not unnecessarily say I am fallen when we want permission to do something bad. Prabhu chai coffee pite. Nahi Prabhu, that's not it. Prabhu, I am fallen Prabhuji. I am not so advanced. I am not pure devotee. अच्छा ठीक है चल खा ले. नहीं. That's a very perverted psychology actually if you analyze it. When we say I am a fallen soul, मुझे करने दो. You don't want to hear anything from the person who otherwise can instruct you nicely. So everybody understood this? The psychology behind saying I am fallen person means don't say anything now. So we should avoid that mentality. So maybe this purport will touch upon it next time also because now it's late, so we'll stop. But we'll continue from verse 11 onwards. Purport of 11. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Very amazing in prasanga. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, Shama Kishori Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much for this enlightening class. Prabhuji, I had two questions from verses 2 and 3. So in verse 2, why did Lord Brahma appoint Daksha as the chief of all Prajapatis if he had committed such a great Vaishnava aparadha?
Yes. Hare Krishna. That's a very, very good question. I'm so happy you asked that question. It's a subtle point. And Prabhupada specifically mentioned that still he was appointed as the leader of all the Prajapatis. And the reason is, Shama Kishori Mataji, sometimes to uplift a very qualified person who is making mistakes is to empower that person. Daksha was a born leader. He was a leader by nature. And the best way to uplift a leader is to give leadership position to that person. That person may make some mistakes, but eventually he will come to the righteous path. And we will see in this story. Ultimately, Daksha will be uplifted. Daksha makes advancement, ultimately. Yes, he will again, in his next life, he will commit aparadha against Narad Muni. But then he also offers the Hansa Guhya prayers, which are very beautiful prayers in Srimad Bhagavatam. He will be uplifted. He doesn't become a very pure devotee or anything, but he becomes a contributor in Krishna's Leela and he uplifts. So the point here is how Krishna or Lord Brahma, who is a Mahajan, representative of Shri Krishna, how they deal with people, it depends on the swabha, on the nature of that individual person. Sometimes a person may be asked to resign from services, but then there are some people like Daksha who are meant to be leaders, who have that aura, that leadership quality in them. They do best when they are engaged. When they are disempowered, they don't do so well. They may fall into mode of ignorance more. So it is expert decision to make Daksha the leader. That is one way of looking at it. Also, you see in the life of Srila Prabhupada, many times Srila Prabhupada would empower somebody who was making mistake. When Hayagriv Prabhu was having difficulty, Srila Prabhupada made him the temple president of New Vrindavan. That you are temple president, people will be watching you, you will have more responsibility, you will be engaged, you will be empowered, you will do better as a leader. The best will come out of you because you are in that leadership role. If you resign from your services, you are supposed to be a leader, you will not know what to do with your time, with your talents, and you will just while away your time. You're better off being a leader. All that pressure of leadership will bring out the best in you. You will do more bhajan like that way. So we have to look at it like that, Mataji.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Another way of looking at it, again, we don't have time to discuss it, is sometimes, and this is an equally important point, it's completely opposite perspective of what I initially gave. The second perspective is based on Uttarakhand of Valmiki Ramayana, where there is a story of that Brahman who hits the dog on the head. You have heard that story? There was a dog and there was a hungry Brahman who was going and the dog was blocking the path. So the Brahman, in a fit of rage, out of anger, with a stick, hit that dog on the head. That dog came to the Sabha of Lord Ramachandra and Lakshman ushered the dog in. And the dog spoke to Lord Ramachandra and told that this Brahman hit me on my head, made me bleed. Lord Ramachandra said, what justice should I do? So that Brahman is called in the Sabha. And Lord Ramachandra asks the dog, what would be the just punishment for this Brahman who hit you? And the dog told Lord Ramachandra that make him the leader of a monastery. Make him a guru. Make this Brahman a guru of a mutt. So Lord Ramachandra smiles and he says, Tathastu. And he makes that Brahman who is got a temper, the leader of a monastery, the guru in a monastery. He becomes very happy. I thought I will be punished. I was rewarded. Now I have got chelas, I have got disciples to serve me. अभी खाने पीने का कोई problem नहीं है. I will get enough food to eat. There'll be servants cooking for me. So he very happily departs and becomes the guru of that Gurukul, that monastery. Lakshman asks Lord Ramachandra that when the dog demanded this punishment, you smiled, and we did not understand what was the logic behind this. Lord Ramachandra looks at that dog and tells the dog, Apni katha sunao. Tell us your story. The dog smiles and it tells the Sabha that in my previous life, I was a guru. And because I did not have good character, I became a dog. This Brahman does not have good character. So let him become a guru. In his next life, he'll become a dog like me and he will be beaten how I was beaten. This is a chapter in the Uttarkhanda of Valmiki Ramayana. The justice of the dog. So that could be a reason to make Daksha a leader. Okay, that is how you will become purified. You know? When a Senapati stands up in the battle in front, he's more likely to get hit by bullets. So that's why कभी कभी भगवान खड़ा कर देते हैं. चल, तू commander बन जा. You'll get the first bullet. You deserve it. So who knows? Two completely opposite perspective. One perspective is that being empowered means more engagement. You are more under the microscope. You'll perhaps do bhajan better. As Shripad Vaisheshika Maharaj says, forced efficiency. And the other perspective is it's like feeding a balika bakra to be empowered. You are setting yourself up for future punishment. So both the perspective you have to understand. Is that okay, Mataji?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Such a wonderful answer. Thank you for sharing both these perspectives. May I ask the second question?
Yes. And that was the last question.
Yes. So in verse 3, Prabhuji, it is said that being puffed up, Daksha wanted to deprive Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva of participation in the sacrifice. Lord Shiva is understood, but why Lord Brahma? I mean, Brahma was favorable to him.
So, favorable. He knew that Brahmaji is favorable in the sense that Brahmaji is not acting against him. But you remember in the first yajna where he insulted Lord Shiva, he also insulted Lord Brahma by saying that actually my daughter, she's doe-eyed, she's Mrigakshi, and this Shiva, he's monkey-eyed. He doesn't deserve my daughter who's as good as Gayatri Devi. And it's just because of this Brahma that I agreed for this proposal. Otherwise, I would have never married my daughter Sati to this Shiva. Hai na? So he insulted Lord Brahma also. So it's not explicitly mentioned, but it appears that even Lord Brahma was not invited. There is no mention that Lord Brahma was invited. Brahma's support was there in the sense that beta hai, he has made me the leader of the Prajapatis. In that sense, Brahmaji's support is there. But it doesn't look like he invited Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, dear devotees. Hare Krishna. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Aradhya Madhavi Mataji is there. You're listening, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu, I'm here. Dandavata Pranam, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
You are in US or you are in Vraj?
I'm in the US, unfortunately.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I'm excited that you're coming.
Also, I am
Baltimore.
excited to have your darshan. Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Hare Krishna.
I'll see you on the 31st of October.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Anybody is in Vraj or in Dham right now? Traveled from somewhere? I know Janani Mataji came back from Vrindavan. Everybody's here only. Sthane sthita. Everybody's doing bhajan at home. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nitai Gaur Hari. Jai Jai.
Thank you, Prabhu.